get it twisted. Jussie and Jussie Smollett are not saluting black power and self-determination. They are saluting the illusionary creators of color movement. Creators of color is on a mission to showcase diversity in every creative field, from entertainers and filmmakers to writers and image makers. Not black people or people of color. They say they believe that the world is better when you add color. Their mission is driven by a desire to be seen for their unique voices and perspectives. Their movement is about making their stories and talents more visible, not black power. There is a lot more to the Jussie Smollett story. His sisters, Jussie and Jazz, were major 2008-2012 political surrogates for Hussein Barack Obama. A political surrogate, also known as a campaign surrogate, acts on behalf of a candidate running for office, often by appearing at events on their behalf or using their influence to bolster the image of a candidate. That really means that they were surrogates of the people that created Obama. It means that Jussie and Jazz were surrogates for the Rothschild Rockefeller dynasties, Israel, and political Zionist Mossad, Raul Emanuel, and David Axelrod. Axelrod had been Obama's presidential campaign manager. They worked for him. Obama, the politician, was created by David Axelrod for the Rothschild Rockefeller satanic cabal and rulers. Axelrod wrote his speeches and guided his political strategy, while Raul Emanuel had been his chief of staff. Axelrod had created, molded, and shaped Obama since 1992. Axelrod met Obama when he was 30 years old and coordinated a voter registration drive in Chicago, and Betty Lou Salzman suggested that the two get to know each other. The New York Times reported in early 2007. Betty Lou Salzman had been supporting and financing Obama's political career since 1992, long before he ran for office. Salzman is the only daughter of Zionist leader Philip Morris Kuznick. In 1992, when Obama was 30 years old, Salzman told Axelrod and others, "He will be our first black president." Salzman then commissioned Axelrod to create Obama, the presidential candidate. Rothschild capital agent Philip Kuznick was Obama's first major political sponsor in Chicago. Kuznick was former director of the U.S. Commerce Department, the president of the B'nai B'rith International, president of the World Jewish Congress, general chairman of the United Jewish Appeal, president of the American Friends of the Hebrew University, vice president of the Jewish Welfare Board, a founder of the Conference of Presidents of Major Jewish Organizations, president of the Memorial Foundation for Jewish Culture, and vice president of the Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany, among other things. This man had absolutely nothing to do with the health, safety, and welfare of black people or people of color. In May 2012, it was no longer a matter of an Illuminati conspiracy theory. In a press release, David Rockefeller said, "Lord Rothschild and I have known each other for 5 decades. The connection between our two families remains very strong. I am delighted to welcome Jacob and RIT, the Rothschilds, as shareholders and partners in the ongoing development of our investment management and wealth advisory businesses." They are officially joined at the hip. As far as I know, Jussie Smollett was not an Obama political surrogate. So how did he get so close to the president, the highest elected public officer in the nation, and the first lady? You must have extremely high security and secrecy clearances to get into the White House, let alone get up and close with Barack and Michelle Obama. Disturbingly, Jussie Smollett fit the profile of the light-skinned young black men that President Obama liked to mess and play with around the White House. It was the late Joan Rivers that violated a high-level security Illuminati covenant when she exposed President Barack Obama as the first gay president and the First Lady Michelle Obama as a tranny. Within months, Joan Rivers was dead. Recently, David Axelrod revealed that Obama had always been secretly a fool for anything LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual. Obama had a U.S. government high-level security and secrecy thing for Prince Rogers Nelson. On June 15, 2015, Prince gave a secret command performance for the Obamas and 500 guests at the White House. Secrecy around Prince's private concert was tighter than a nuclear bomb explosion. All of the guests had to formally vow to covenants of secrecy with the U.S. Secret Service to attend. To this day, Barack and Michelle refuse to release the guest list or explain the need for classified top secret security surrounding the event. During that time, it was also revealed that Prince had been cleared by U.S. Secret Service into the White House in evenings on several occasions. How many times? It still remains a government secret. I can't make this stuff up. It's documented U.S. government information. Watchtowers are one of the most recognized aspects of the Enochian fallen angel system, created by Dr. John Dee. Charles Taze Russell, the founder of the Watchtower Society, the Jehovah's Witnesses, was a 33rd degree Knights Templar Freemason of the York Rite in Allegheny, Pennsylvania. Russell's Masonic records are sealed secret in Ireland. He had been a disciple of Dr. John Dee. Prince Nelson Rogers was a disciple of Charles Taze Russell and Dr. John Dee. Jussie Smollett was also asked to sing for the Obamas on the eve the Obamas celebrated themselves with a final extravagant gala at the White House that included very special friends, guests, and entertainers. It also appears that he had a room at the White House for the day and evening. How many times had Jussie been cleared by the U.S. Secret Service into the Obama White House? That is classified government information too. So how do you go from virtually being the toast of the Black Congressional Congress, the White House, to the outhouse within months, doing something so bizarre that it's absolutely babbling? Jussie didn't need the money. He was contracted for at least 2 upcoming movies and getting paid for the Empire television series. And I don't believe the Jussie scam was narrowly created to help pass Senator Kamala Harris and Cory Booker's anti-lynching legislation. It didn't need Jussie scam to help it pass Congress. However, I do believe that part of the scam, a high-level intelligence operation, was to deliberately entrap, ridicule, and publicly humiliate them to characterize Jussie's false black psych drama as a modern-day lynching. They say, look, it shows that Cory Booker and Kamala Harris have a lack of proper judgment. They can't lead the country. They run and they rush to judgment. On Valentine's Day, February 15, 2019, Jussie Smollett tweeted the following message of support to her brother. You are not weak. You are brave. One of the bravest I know. Speaking your truth, a person living at the intersection of multiple identities unapologetically takes courage. I love you. In other words, instead of social inclusion, Jussie, the black homosexual male, is the victim of racism, rigid society morals, and homophobic black people. In other words, it's our fault. It is deeply shrouded, coded language of an Illuminati hidden agenda. Black feminist UCLA professor Kimberly Williams Crenshaw is known for the introduction and development of intersectional theory, the study of how overlapping or intersecting social identities, particularly minorities' identities, relate to systems and structures of oppression, domination, or discrimination. The language of speaking your truth, a person living at the intersection of multiple identities, come out of the intersectional theory. Crenshaw is the founder of the field of critical race theory. She received a JD from Harvard and bachelor's degree in government and African studies from Cornell University in 1981, where she was a member of the Quill and Dagger Senior Honor Society. Founded May 28, 1893, Quill and Dagger is an ultra-secret society founded by members of the Sphinx Head that parallels the path of Yale's Skull and Bones, the Brotherhood of Death. The New York Times referred to Sphinx Head as a secret senior society of the nature of Skull and Bones, a senior honor society at Yale University, of which Andrew Dixon White, Cornell University's co-founder and first president, was a member. White encouraged the formation of a secret society system on the Cornell campus. At Geneva College, Andrew White was inducted as a member of Alpha Sigma Phi. At Yale, he was initiated into Skull and Bones. White also joined Psi Upsilon. In 1856, he was initiated into Phi Beta Kappa. Most of the early college fraternities, societies of learned men, trace their origin back to 1400 University of Bologna in Italy, and an ancient order known in some accounts as the Kerjak scepter, linked to Manuel Chrysolaris. Kerjak scepter, city of engraving, city of scribes, city of strolls, city of books, city of numbers, city of writing, city of instruction, city of learning of ancient Canaan. It was where giants, the Nephilim, sons of fallen angels, went to learn. Andrew White was a disciple of the 13th century mystic, alchemist, Catholic Franciscan Roger Bacon. The 16th century fallen angel, mystic, and sorcerer Dr. John Dee appears to have been a disciple of Roger Bacon. In the 1950s, the secret establishment CIA Occult Bureau set up MK Ultra Monarch at Cornell University inside its alchemist, Enochian, Luciferian secret society system. The Quill and Dagger Society is a Luciferian fallen angel portal of power, magic, knowledge, and wisdom for some of the most dangerous, secretive families, cults, and sects of the New World Order and the Illuminati ruling elite. A group of men deeply internally linked to the 9/11 Twin Towers inside job were members of Cornell University's Quill and Dagger Society. This included Paul Wolfowitz, National Security Advisors Sandy Berger and Stephen Hadley, Marsh and McLennan executive Stephen Friedman, and the founder of Kroll Associates, Jules Kroll. 1913 to 1984, Quill and Dagger had at least one member in the U.S. Congress every single year. In recent decades, the Society has had a strong presence in the U.S. State Department and related government positions, with 2 U.S. National Security Advisors, 2 Directors of Policy Planning, and numerous Assistant Secretaries and Senior Advisors. Additionally, 2 members recently served as World Bank presidents, and a large number of members serve on the Council on Foreign Relations. Many of these government officials interact regularly in their professional duties. At least 5 members of George W. Bush's administration were Quill and Dagger members. President Barack Obama's administration includes Deputy Secretary of Labor Seth Harris. During the 1930s through 1950s, the chairman of Standard Oil, Sun Oil, and Continental Oil companies were Quill and Dagger members, and many other advanced positions in these corporations were held by Society members. Younger members who entered the oil industry at this time would gain industry prominence later in the century, with one becoming chairman of Amoco in the 1990s. In the 1960s, the management of Union Carbide, the oldest chemical and polymer company in the country, passed directly from one member to another. In recent years, similar networking seems to be at work in the leading investment banks. This is no conspiracy theory. It is not a stretch of the facts or my imagination. It is a fact. Kimberly Williams Crenshaw is Quill and Dagger. She regularly interacts with the secret Luciferian Brotherhood of Death. She is bound to them as if she has a yoke around her neck in a death covenant of deep secrecy. In 2001, Crenshaw wrote the background paper on race and gender discrimination for the United Nations World Conference Against Racism, helped to facilitate the addition of gender in its conference declaration, served as a member of the CIA-funded U.S. National Academies of Sciences National Science Foundation Committee to Research Violence Against Women, and the Research Council Panel on Research on Violence Against Women. Crenshaw was a member of the Domestic Strategy Group at the Luciferian Aspen Institute in Colorado from 1992 to 1995. She is also linked to Stanford University's Center of Advanced Behavior Studies, where Dr. Vanessa Tyson is currently anchored. In 1996, she co-founded the African American Policy Forum, a think tank to house a variety of projects designed by the New World Order to deliver research-based strategies to better advance social inclusion. Among the forum's projects are the Affirmative Action Research and Policy Consortium and the Multiracial Literature and Leadership Initiative. In partnership with the Luciferian Aspen Roundtable for Community Change, Crenshaw facilitated workshops on racial equity for hundreds of community leaders and organizations throughout the country. In other words, if you don't follow the Quill and Dagger's intersectional inclusion policy and conditions, you get no government or private foundation funding. With the support of the Rothschild Rockefeller Foundation, Crenshaw facilitates the Bellagio Project, an international network of scholars working in the field of social inclusion, of the multi-personality disorder, and the LGBT from 5 continents. She formerly served as the committee chair for the U.S.-Brazil Joint Action Plan to promote racial and ethnic equality, an initiative of the Quayle and Dagger-dominated U.S. State Department. A founding member of the Women's Media Initiative, Crenshaw writes for the CIA Occult Bureau-funded Ms. Magazine, The Nation, and other print media, and has appeared as a regular commentator on the Tevis Smiley Show, NPR, and MSNBC. What is Crenshaw's Illuminati New World Order intersectional theory as I understand it right now, this minute? It seems to me to form the basis for clandestinely planting, anchoring, and normalizing MK Ultra monarch multiple identities, racist, fascist, feminist, and LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender ideologies in societies here and around the world, particularly in the mother country. Intersectional theory is a clandestine, authoritarian theory and mandate that forced the global masses to balance, center, and intersect feminism, the LGBT, the multi-personality disorder, and even Satanism into their society norms. So will the Jews fall through the cracks? Or are the Jews and other Illuminati satanic family groups like the Rothschild and Rockefeller and races like the Anglo-Saxons not mandated to speak their truth at the intersection of multiple identities? Intersectionality is a setup. It's a fraud, and it's flawed by its very nature and at its roots. I said all of this to say that Kimberly Williams Crenshaw's blackness, bisexuality, and feminism don't mean a damn thing. They are covers to mask the classic wolf in sheep's clothing. She's the one that wears the hood of secrecy of the Brotherhood of Death. Crenshaw is an ultra-secret master puppet of the Luciferian Illuminati and CIA, so it stands to reason that she's highly placed in the spotlight of national and global societies as a wolf in sheep's clothing change agent to covertly pursue and implement the secret New World Order homosexual agenda of global racial disharmony, annihilation, and depopulation. Ms. Drew Smollett, MK ULTRA Sex kitten, that the puppet masters dialed up and told her to dump her brother, Jussie Smollett, at the intersection of multiple identities, on our doorstep, in the lap of society. Instead of speaking truth to power, she did exactly what they told her to do, most likely verbatim. That exposed the puppet master's hidden hand. Jussie Smollett and the Mendigos are Illuminati Hollywood pawns. Their crimes against society are often stupid, bizarre, and crazy. And that's exactly what MK Ultra does. It makes you do things against your moral system and against your will. They can and will do evil for the sake of absolute evil. What they do as mind control, MK Ultra pawns are not supposed to be logical or make any sense at all. Jussie Smollett is a program mole, sleeper, multiple personality disordered, MK Ultra black homosexual Manchurian candidate, and sex kitten. It is alleged that he had been part of a Hollyweird pedophile ring since he was a kid. It is also alleged that he was part of digital entertainment network stable of ritually sexually abused and raped children connected to DreamWorks co-owner David Griffin. This is no conspiracy theory. The above is documented pictorial evidence of Griffin's link with the United Kingdom's Lord Peter Mendelssohn, known as the Prince of Darkness. Griffin and the Prince of Darkness dined at the Rothschild family estate in Corfu, Greece. It is a fortified villa and playground of Lord Knight Jacob and Lady Serena Rothschild. Jacob Rothschild is a powerful British investor banker, admittedly joined at the hip with David Rockefeller for about 5 decades. David Griffin, also known as King David, is also closely linked to Barack and Michelle Obama. The Dark Lord Baron Peter Mendelssohn is openly gay. He is a member of the Bilderberg Group and one of the highest Luciferian initiates in the United Kingdom. He was trained in the magic of the Masonic Alpha Lodges and the Satanic Order of the Nine Angles. Lord Mendelssohn is part of the inner controlling cabal of the British Dark Black Satanic Circle. He is also a powerful clandestine elite control operative of the British CIA Transatlantic Security and Defense Network. The Prince of Darkness is also alleged to be a senior member of a notorious British pedophile ring. He is also in Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island Little White Book with President-elect Donald J. Trump. These are the forces that you don't talk about. What makes sense is Jussie talked about Hollywood's most powerful pedophile ring tied to King David, where Me Too don't and will not thread under any circumstances. They didn't have to torture him or hurt him in any way to silence him. They just flipped a MK Ultra Monarch switch. Jussie was powerless to resist doing any stupid, bizarre, and crazy thing that they told him to do. Now, nobody will believe anything Jussie says. The black stone around Jussie's neck is not a fashion statement, but his silent and secret yoke. The ones that hold the reins to his yoke is known by its old name, Lords of the Black Stone, one of the founding secret societies of the Nazi tool. The Black Stone represents the Holy Grail of a set of Vatican Knights Templar. Their Holy Grail was said to be a black violet crystal, half quartz, half amethyst, through which higher powers communicated with humanity. The Knights Templar higher power patron god was Goddess Isis, the daughter of Goddess Isis and the god Set, Satan. Goddess Isis is believed to be Asteroid, in Greek, an angel. Asteroid in demonology is the great Duke of Hell in the first hierarchy with Bezuzu and Lucifer. He is part of the evil trinity. He's a male figure most likely named after the Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar. Jussie Smollett is a pawn with a strip. He is an actor that reads from and follows the strip. The strip is designed to cause mass population hysteria, confusion, and chaos. It's the drum that beats up the fires and the passions of the Republicans against the Democrats, the heterosexuals against the homosexuals, and the blacks against the whites into a ball of confusion. It's psychological warfare. The mass population double bind. Insanity without disease. Out of the contrived chaos, the shining hero rises.